Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It has been a while, hasn't it? Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. I know it's been about two and a half months since I last posted a video. Let me bring my quilt here. By the way, look at this quilt. My mother-in-law made this for me a couple years ago. I just dropped some books. I asked her to make it. She makes the most amazing quilts. That is totally off topic. And let me just pick up my books here. It's been a while. It's been about two and a half months since I last posted a book video. It has just been a lot rougher than I thought with moving. To be honest with you guys, the format of this video, I'm just gonna give a brief explanation as to why it took me so long to come back to BookTube, and then do like a mini wrap up, like what I've been reading since I've been gone, and then talk about my February TBR. So my brief explanation. So I am from Oregon. We were living in Oregon, my husband, daughter, and I, and my husband got a really good job opportunity in Seattle. And so we decided to move. And this is the first time that I am living out of state. I've lived in Oregon my whole life, and I didn't really know any different. And Washington State is just one state up north. The climate's pretty much the same. So for that part, it wasn't really a big difference for me. But I think the biggest thing was moving away from family and friends. Like now my family is 4 hours away, which doesn't seem like a lot to some people, but I feel like it's just the amount of distance to where if I ever needed help or there's some kind of emergency, it's just far enough away that like people can get to me for 4 hours. And it's a little bit frightening to move to a new place, not have any friends or family nearby, and just starting over. So yes, I am feeling a lot better now. I think it hit especially hard because during the illness that has been going around since 2020, we remained really close with my parents. They helped us a lot with our daughter since we had her during the pandemic, and just now not having that familial support was really a big life change for me, and it was a little rough moving here, to be honest. And our move had to be postponed because the Pacific Northwest had a big snowstorm around Christmas, which we normally don't get that much snow around here, so that was a big surprise. So we had to postpone moving from end of December to early January. A lot of stress. Like moving is very stressful, whether you're moving across town or if you're moving to a new state or even a different country. I don't know what moving to a different country is like. My husband has done that. I can imagine it was stressful. So anyway, I'm finally getting my bearings. My awesome husband put together these wall shelves for me. This is really something that I wanted. I was really inspired by Chelsea, her channel Chelsea Palmer. I'll link her down below. She does a lot of book videos as well. I loved her bookshelves that she did in this style. We just got the boards and the brackets from Home Depot. I think my husband did an amazing job, and I just don't quite know how I want my books to really look yet on the shelf. Because of the brackets, like right here, it's a little off center and weird, but who cares at this point? I'm just happy to have my bookshelves and happy to have books available to me to look at now. So without further ado, I am finally mentally ready to be back. I'm feeling a whole lot better. I'm starting to acclimate myself around this area, and I'm starting to make new friends, which is always good. And I'm an introverted person. If I seem more extroverted, it's not real. It's because I'm literally talking to my phone to you. You know what I mean? So it's an adjustment, but I'm finally doing really good, and it's been really fun exploring this area. In any case, now I want to get to what I have read while I was away. And because of all the stress that has been going on, I've only read 2 books. You know, I'm cheating a little bit because I'm not done with the second book, but I'm going to finish that tonight, and it's January 31st when I'm filming. So I'm going to finish it tonight for sure because my daughter just went down to bed and I have all evening to read. But the first book that I finished was The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torre. I got this book from my family friend James, so thank you, James, for this book. And for Christmas, I actually got the second and third books from my parents. But I read this, and you guys, this was a 5 out of 5 for me. This is a book about a woman who is a cam girl. She makes her living in her apartment, doing her cam girl stuff, and she never leaves her apartment. She orders everything online. She pays for everything online. Like, she does not venture out of her apartment. She has meals delivered to her place, etc. She does everything in her apartment, and she never leaves. And on the back of this book, I'm just going to read the little blurb here. It says, "My life is simple as long as I follow the rules. 1, don't leave the apartment. 2, never let anyone in. And 3, don't kill anyone. I've obeyed these rules for 3 years, but rules were made to be broken." And a brief synopsis about this is, what is her name? I totally forgot the main character's name. She has her real name, and then she has her, I think she goes by Jessica for her cam girl name. But she has had a traumatic past, and because of her little murdery tendencies, she decided to lock herself up in this apartment and just never leave, because if she never leaves, then she will never hurt anybody. And then one of her clients on the internet starts asking for some weird fetish things in terms of acting like a young girl, and she has her own morals and things, and she realized that, oh my goodness, this guy might actually be pretending that I'm a real girl that he knows. And she starts to get suspicious that this guy is fishy. And the story goes from there. You get stuff regarding her past, her story, as well as kind of the thriller aspect about learning about this person and what they're trying to do. There are other perspectives in this book. You get the perspective of, I think, 2 other people. Anyway, this book, I just flew through it. It was so amazing. It was exactly what I needed in December. I don't know, do people read like this kind of thrillery stuff in December? I did, and it was really amazing. And it was a 5 out of 5 for me, and I can't wait to read the second and the third books. The book I am currently reading is See Me by Nicholas Sparks. I have just this much left. And you guys, like, I normally am a fantasy reader, but I don't know why I keep saying that, because I really do feel like I'm 50-50 in terms of fantasy and also just contemporary fiction and romance. I love romance too. And this is like, when I am reading something that is exactly what I need, I can fly through a book. I just can get hooked. If I'm reading something that I'm just not in the mood for, not that it's not a good book, but if I'm just not in the mood for it, it just takes me forever to read it, and then I don't enjoy it as much as I would have if I just waited until I was in the mood. But this was exactly what I was needing in this moment. This book I got from my grandparents. They even wrote me like a little note in here. They got this book for me for my birthday, so I think this book is included in my birthday book haul video, which I will link down below. But this book is a dual perspective story about Colin and Maria. Colin has a troubled past. He has been arrested a couple times, and he is trying to live on the straight and narrow. And pretty much it's like, if he makes one more mistake, he will go to prison. So he is trying to live a model citizen life. He's just going to college, trying to do the right thing, and he wants to have a good future and help shape other kids' futures that are just like him. And Maria is a hardworking woman. Her parents are Mexican immigrants who really made their family proud by opening their own restaurant. A lot of family members work there, and she was the first person in their family to graduate from college and go to law school. And so she is now a working lawyer. And pretty much like this lawyer and this guy with a criminal past, they end up starting a romance with each other. And then Maria actually has had issues in her past in terms of someone threatening her. So far, the first half of this book is kind of like a whirlwind romance between Colin and Maria. And then now the second half is almost like a thrillery type book, which I'm actually kind of vibing with, because you have to kind of build up the romance and like how they kind of get together and how they mesh together to find out like how much they actually mean to each other when adversity is hitting them. And I'm actually really liking this so far. Mild complaints are just, there are like a little bit some cheesy moments, and then the main character Colin, like he's like the man of few words type of guy, and he's not like overly macho. He actually really cares about people's feelings, and he really tries to listen to people, and he's really authentic and truthful. But one pet peeve that he does is often, because he feels like he doesn't really know what to say, he just says, okay, 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 okay. And it's like I get it, you're a man of few words, but just, there is one page where he literally said okay 3 times, and it wasn't even the full page. It was like the end of a chapter where it ends like this. And I'm just like, you know, that's just not necessary. But besides all that, I'm really enjoying this, and I only have like 100 pages to go, but I'm gonna fly through this. If I were to rate this as of right now, I would probably give this 4 stars if it continues on the same trajectory that it is going in right now. So that is, this is literally all that I've read since December. It's been 2 months and I've only read like 2 books, but my life has been crazy. What do you want me to say? I apologize if the angle is even just a little bit different, but I realized I had to stop recording because I realized I have no idea what I want to read in February. I'm just going to be 100% honest. Doing TBRs doesn't necessarily work for me because I'm very much a mood reader. I've tried, you know, ever since I started my channel, I've tried doing TBRs like everybody else does, and I'm realizing it doesn't really work for me because like my thoughts and feelings change every single day, and sometimes my feelings change after I finish a certain kind of book. Then it kind of inspires me to pick up a different book than what I originally planned before I started this book. So sometimes when I finish a story, if it really resonates with me, then I want to read another book that's similar to it, similar genre, similar atmosphere. And it's really hard for me to just flip-flop between genres. I have been reading a ton of fantasy, and right now I think I'm just a little bit burnt out on it. And so I started with reading Winds of Strife by Yuji Gutman right before my life started getting really hectic. I made it to page 70. Don't get me wrong, I am really enjoying what I'm reading so far. I really love the world, I love the magic system and all the concepts. And I haven't really gotten to like the meat of this story quite yet. I'm still very much in the build-up of everything that's going on. But so far, the magic system, the characters, they're all very intriguing, and I'm really liking what I'm reading so far. The reason that I stopped reading is because I found that it was taking me a long time to read every single page. It's not because I'm not enjoying what's on the page. It's because my brain isn't capable of handling the complexities of a magic system or a fantasy world right now. And once I realized that, I was relieved because I'm like, what is wrong with me? This story would captivate me in like any other circumstance. Like, why isn't this, you know, why am I not reading this at a fast speed like I probably would have? And it's just because I think after, you know, last year, my brain is like, hey, you know, why don't we pick up a different kind of book and give your, you know, brain a rest, especially with my life being the way it has been. I just haven't had the time to really read a lot. I've been wanting to honestly watch a lot of TV. I've been just watching TV shows. I started watching Schitt's Creek, which is really funny. I love Catherine O'Hara. I think she's so funny. And yeah, so now I'm trying to ease back into reading, but I can't handle fantasy right now. So Uri, I hope I'm saying your name right. I am not giving up on your book. I don't want you to think that I don't like it. That is totally not true. I just want to give your book a fair shot because I know once my brain clicks into fantasy mode again, this is going to be the book that I'm reading. it's just not fair to the author or the book or to me to read something when I'm not in the mood for it, you know? So I'm excited for when fantasy kicks back into my brain because I can't wait to delve back into this. But for now, this is not what I'm planning to read in February. I'm still in like a, maybe kind of like a thrillery mood or just something kind of lighter. So as of right now, this is kind of what I'm thinking in terms of February. I'm not keeping myself strict to this TBR, but this is just kind of what I'm feeling in the moment. And as I continue to make videos, you will see if I've changed my mind or not. But the first book I have is House on Sand by Debbie Hanman. This is the book that my English teacher wrote in high school. She wrote this like a year ago, came out a year ago. She was like my English teacher for junior year, I think. And I just wanted to support her. I saw on Facebook that she wrote a book and I really wanted to support her. So it's about time that I read this. I actually lent this to my grandma because I often get book recommendations from my grandparents. You know, they did get me this book. And because I knew I wasn't getting to it yet, I let my grandma read it and she really, really enjoyed this. So I really can't wait to get to it. It's not super long and I think it's just exactly what I need. I really like stories that deal with real life, but with some hardships, because isn't that real life? Real life isn't perfect. The premise of this story is there's this woman named Ellie Gold. She has 2 sons and her husband is a pastor, but she finds out that her husband has been cheating on her with her niece. And this is not a spoiler, like you literally, I mean, it's on here, I swear I'm not spoiling anything, but it's pretty much her picking up the pieces, kind of figuring herself out and not renewing, but she's growing her trust in God. This is a Christian fiction book, so I'm really excited to read it and give you guys my thoughts, but this is self-published, I believe, and I'm really excited to read this and support my old teacher. The other book I'm thinking about reading this month is The Nesting by C.J. Cook. I picked up this book because of Gabby Reads. I'll link her channel down below. She's really known for her thriller, horror, and romance genres. So if I want any romance or thriller recommendations, I watch her videos. This one got really good reviews from her, and all I really know it's about like who is a nanny to get this job because she really needs it. But the guy and his kids are kind of creepy and things just aren't quite what they seem. That's all I really know about this book. So I'm really excited to see where it takes me. I had one of my friends read her other book and this one and really liked it. So that really made me want to put this on the top of my list as well. And then I have Do Not Disturb by A.R. Torr. It is the sequel to The Girl in 6E. I just really love that book. It is, I didn't say this before, but it is twisted in the best way possible. Like, it's one of those books where you're like, that is so messed up, but it's intriguing and you just can't stop reading. It's like a train wreck. You know the phrase, it's a train wreck, but you can't take your eyes away from it. Like, it's exactly that. It is the thought process, the actions, and the matter-of-factness that she has about herself. It's just very refreshing and it's very messed up, but it's still very intriguing to read. So I want to delve back into that world. Another one that I have from the library as an ebook. It is, well, what is it called? A Kiss of Shadows, I think, by Laurel K. Hamilton. It is like an urban fantasy type book, and all I really know is that it's about this woman named Meredith Gentry, and she's half fae, I think, and she is summoned back to fairy court by her aunt, who is very evil and I think has tried to kill her and stuff. But the aunt is like, the fairy blood is thinning and we're losing a lot of power, and I want to reinstate you as my heir. And she has a son who's really messed up as well, but she's like, I will renounce him if you can get pregnant first, because we need to have more fairy children. And because of their bloodline or because of who they are, they don't have children very easily. So pretty much it's a competition between her and her sadistic cousin Cal on who takes over the throne, and it's all based on which line can procreate. Sounds kind of messed up when you think about it, but my one of my best friends, Sylvia, she loves this series and she recommended it to me. And I did read this first book years ago and I remember liking it. So I'm gonna try it again because my library has pretty much all the books on as an ebook. So I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a try. If I have any chance to read on my phone or on my iPad, then that's something that I want to do too. Again, I am not really hard pressed on exactly what I'm going to read. It all depends on how I feel after I read this one. And we're just going to kind of go from there. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I know it's really hard to kind of jump back into BookTube after you've been away for so long. And then, you know, people are kind of like, where did she go? Is she even going to make videos anymore? And then you just kind of forget about people. Like, I totally get it, but I just want to thank all my BookTube friends for being so encouraging and warm on their Discords. I've been talking with Leslie and Andrew, Leslie from The Nerdy Narrative and Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. I just want to thank you guys so much for still supporting me as friends. I've been communicating with them just a little bit, just letting them know like, hey, I'm still alive, I'm still here. But I just want to thank everybody for their kindness and support. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button and like this video. And I really am planning to get back into the swing of things and start making more videos for you guys. So that is all that I have for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.